Today we're going to be talking about volunteers and what they should and should not be doing when it comes to fundraising inside your Catholic apostolate, nonprofit, religious community. That's the big topic. What do you do with volunteers when it comes to fundraising? Now, before we dive into that, let me just quickly introduce myself. Brice Sokolowski, that's who I am, and I run a website called catholicfundraiser.net. It's a website that is helping thousands of Catholics with their fundraising. That's my sole objective, is to help you fundraise better, and that's why we're going to be talking about volunteers, what you should be using them for, what you might consider not using them for. So that's the big topic today. And before we dive into that as well, just want to make sure that you download absolutely for free the 10 Commandments to Catholic Fundraising. So we're going to be talking about volunteers today, but also you're going to have plenty of other questions more than likely, or you're going to want some fresh ideas on how to fundraise. For example, online, how do you do it? Jump over to, actually click the link, it's that easy. Download the 10 Commandments to Catholic Fundraising. These are 10 things that I have found that are very, very helpful in my fundraising. It's been downloaded by thousands of Catholic nonprofits. I've had great input as well into what should be listed as the top 10. So make sure that you get your guide absolutely for free. Okay, I'm going to be touching on 3 key points on volunteers. It's going to be a little controversial because what I'm going to say usually isn't done by a lot of people. And then the question is, well, why don't a lot of people do it? I mean, if people don't do it, more than likely, well, maybe it's not the right thing to do. Well, there's a lot of common sense and research behind what I'm going to say, and I think that's why it deviates. Is a lot of people are following the crowd, following the herd on what to do with fundraising, and most people, I would think you agree, aren't really reaching their fundraising goals. So I'm going to be telling you things to do that actually get you to successfully fundraise in your Catholic apostolate with regards to volunteers. And the first recommendation, number 1, is do not get volunteers to run your fundraising. And I say this because they more than likely don't want to do it. They will more than likely not complete the tasks, and you're going to have to watch them every step of the way to make sure that they're actually going out and doing it. So if you want to micromanage a group of people who are probably not going to be successful in the sense that they don't really want to do it, if that's what you want to do, is spend more of your time micromanaging people that don't want to do something, go right ahead. But if you're like, you know what, even if micromanaging, they're not going to do it very well, maybe they shouldn't be doing that. And that's my recommendation. Number 1, don't get volunteers to be doing anything with fundraising. That's if you want to be stress-free and actually focus on what actually gets you donors and donations, that's point number 1. Point number 2 is rethink volunteers. What are they really good at? And I recommend that they become advocates for your apostolate. Get them to spread the word. Ask them to pass out flyers, contact details, open doors to maybe meeting other people. You're going to have to manage them as well, but it's going to be less stressful than managing and micromanaging what they're doing with the fundraising. So it's going to be much less stressful because fundraising in itself is stressful. You don't want to add another element of stress. So if you do have volunteers, ask them to do other things, and more than likely you're going to get even more volunteers because people just want to get involved because they like your mission, your apostolate, and what you're doing. And so just allow them to spread the word about it, and they're going to do that much, much better than fundraising. So that's point number 2. Get them to do something a little bit easier that they're going to love doing. And then point number 3 is, well, if you started this video off and this podcast off with thinking, well, how do I actually get volunteers to do the fundraising? And I'm telling you not to do that. Well, then who does the fundraising? Who's actually going to go out and do it? The answer is you. You are the one that's responsible for fundraising. You're going to raise a whole lot more if you just take it upon yourself and be smart about it. That's why the 10 Commandments to Catholic Fundraising teaches you how to be smart about it. CatholicFundraiser.net gets into more in depth on how to be smart about it. But you just really need a plan, direction, and the right tools. And so my approach is to help people take one step at a time, get the plan, get the direction, and get the tools until they can run their own fundraising. So the whole objective is figure out, well, what actually works, what direction do I need to go with that plan, and how do I put all the pieces together? So that is my recommendation with volunteers and fundraising. I hope that you found this very, very helpful. Share this with somebody that you think could benefit from it. And if you have any questions, leave a comment or reach out to me directly via my website, catholicfundraiser.net. God bless you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.